Okay, welcome to tonight's chart focus. Thought I'd start off tonight just looking at some of these tight range trades. It's quite ironic that I did a video on tight range breakouts just a couple of nights ago, and it seems we've had a heap of them in the last couple of days. So just wanted to revisit a couple. This was the standout, obviously. Here was GNS. Very tight range here around the 60, res at 61. Broke yesterday and hit 66.5, so did a great job and good volume. Powered today on news, which obviously kicked it along to as high as 82. So fantastic trade there if you're in on that breakout with absolute minimal risk if you were trading to a stop below the bottom of that range. So yeah, that was GNS. Whether it's got much more in it short term, I don't know, but it was certainly very strong today. I'll have a really quick look at a couple of others. What have I got here? IOH was one that broke out today. It's a nice tight range here over the last few weeks. Res at $1.65. More recent res was really at $1.60, so it was this $1.60 that I was looking at over the last week or so that couldn't be busted. Broke through that and then powered through the 65 as well. Actually ended up closing at 72 on its highs. Really good volume too, so best volume in a long time. Suppose we could, I haven't done this yet, so I'm not sure how they'll pan out. We could probably try whacking some, get those off there, some old fibs. Okay, so we could probably whack some fibs on this from the previous range just to get an idea of where we might find some resistance. Interestingly, the 38 is around this previous resistance here, not far from that one there, so $1.80 looks like a fairly relevant first level of resistance. The 50 tends to pick up these ones up here, which also look like another level, which is around the $2 mark. 61.5 up here about 2.15, but that $2 certainly, if the market conditions are conducive, $2 not out of the question with this one, but $1.80 would certainly be our first area that I'd be looking for some resistance, or possibly even this high here, which was $1.77. So somewhere up around here we may be looking for resistance and take some off the table. Okay, so that's IOH. BLR was another one I mentioned on Twitter today. Really tight range here for the last couple of months actually, and smashed. There was quite a wall at 3, and as soon as it smashed that wall, it powered on. I think there was 2 or 3 million in that wall from memory, and ended up spiking right up to as high as 3.9 before closing at 3.6. And again, massive volume. Got a speeding ticket in the afternoon. It didn't really seem to slow it down. We'll have a look at the intraday chart on this, just to see if that can tell us anything. We've got a 5-minute chart daily. So the break was at 3, and you can see the volume here. So there's your 3-cent mark there. The break was at 3. Massive volume kicked in. Had a couple of dips, so there were a couple of swing entries there if you were looking for a second chance. But that run for me is a fairly quick, easy way to take that scalp from the 3 break. I think I was actually out around here. I covered mine too soon. I think I was out about 3.5 or something like that, and it went up to as high as 3.9 as I said. But yeah, another very successful tight range breakout. What else have we got here? Bowl is one that's popped up on the scans tonight. Another very tight range. This one hasn't broken yet, so I'll be watching this one. But interestingly, really strong volume today, strongest in a while. Now this has had a 52-cent takeover that they've obviously rejected, and it's not trading anywhere near that takeover price at the moment. The volume today may suggest that there's another offer coming. I'm not sure. It may be technical. It may have just kicked in on the break of this 45. If we have a look at an intraday chart, we'll see if that can tell us anything. Might go to best fit. It's a 15-minute. Looks like all the volume kicked in here on the break, so there was some res at 43, 43.5. Kicked in a little there, and possibly looks like it also kicked in on that 45 break. So it may have been technical, but I'll certainly be keeping an eye on that one tomorrow to see if it kicks on any further. Okay, next I want to show you, that's about it, all I've got for the tight range ones at the moment, but handful of charts there to show how effective that strategy can be. I mentioned CSL late this afternoon in the blog. Mentioned it looked like it was bouncing off this channel. So if I pull up chart overlay, this chart overlay, by the way, is a program. It's not very expensive. I think it might only be $50 or something that you can download. If you Google chart overlay, it'll be the first one that comes up. And it's basically a program that allows you to put fibs and trend lines, pitchforks, and so on any screen. So it's ideal for platforms that don't have those built-in drawing tools, which Spark unfortunately doesn't, or on charts that you find on a website or something like that. If you want to whack some drawing tools on it, you can use this chart overlay program, so it's quite handy. But as you can see, we run a trend line maybe through there. It's in a slight uptrend, but it's definitely been bouncing off this channel. Pretty obvious res around the 3400 mark as well, so that's probably the channel it's in at the moment. Look to have bounced off it pretty well here. So I actually took an entry during the day today. I'll pull up to intraday and see if I can find where I actually took that entry. It was actually on a break of high. So the high early was 31.74, dipped, and as it broke through that 31.74, about there is when I took a long position in it. I've kept some overnight, and I'll probably give that a little room, just looking to see if this channel play can pan out. So I've only got a small position. I'll probably give it, I'll go back to that intraday chart, probably may even give it right back to today's lows. A lot will depend on how the market behaves tonight, as to where I'll get out. If it was really weak and I can get out a little bit higher, I probably will. But looks like a nice possible longer term trade rather than my standard day trade. If this behaves itself, there could be a week or two in this one, but once it gets a bit of upward movement, if it does get any upward movement, I'll put a trailing stop on it. So as soon as it fails to continue in an uptrend towards that 3400 res, I'll take my profits and run. Okay, one more for tonight. NCR, I also mentioned this one this afternoon. Was quite a wall here at 29.530 from memory. It's only relatively newly listed, this stock. It's only about 6 months old. Hit a high of 40. It's dipped to 20, and now nice rounding bottom shape here, and broke that recent 30 res to close on its high at 30.5. We could probably try throwing some fibs on this one, see what they could tell us. So we'll run from that high down to that low. Okay, and interestingly, again, the fibs have picked up some key levels of resistance here. So those previous bounce was to the 38, and the next ones up here were around the 50s. So if we can break through there, you would imagine this next one may be a cause of some resistance, which is 32, and then all going well, she may head up there. But from a shorter term trade, which at this stage this is all it is for me, I'll be looking at any signs of resistance around 32, which isn't too much further away, but decent volume, so that may well smash through that and keep going again if the US behaves itself tonight. Alright, well that's about all I've got for you tonight. Thanks for your feedback from last night's video and your comments regarding the videos. I will try and keep them up daily at this stage, but down the track I may well look to just do a chart focus one once or twice a week, and otherwise put charts on the blog, and then try and do more videos on actual specific setups and possibly some scans and so on. Actually, one more stock I will cover, but we did get a request to show some losing trades, and there's never any shortage of those. I'd hate people to think that all we find are these winners, because we tend to highlight the winners and it all looks great, but many of these don't work. This is SEH, which looked like a swing low in the making. That's a 15-minute intraday chart. Had dipped from a high here of 8.7 down to about 6. Again, we'll put some fibs on this for a moment. We could probably go down to this range here and see if that would have picked that dip up. And it pretty much did. That was right on the 50 that it looked to bounce. So channeled pretty much between the 50 and the 62 there. Okay, we'll erase that. We'll just move to just the last couple of days. Try and pull this up. That's the timer to tell me to shut up. Okay, so this was Monday. The swing was starting to shape. Res for the swing was here at 6.5, which it broke this morning. So my entry was here at 6.6. Bit of volume on the break as well, so it looked pretty much like it had some potential there. Hit 6.8, so was going okay. Couldn't break this most recent resistance here of 6.9, and then started to roll. No volume on the first few bars of the dip, so I decided to give it back to this previous support here at 6.2, and it actually broke down through there, so I took a loss on that one. And as you can see, if you didn't have that stop, it's hit as high as 5.7. So yeah, stops and discipline absolutely vital in this game, and I can't keep talking about that enough. You really do need to know where you're going to get out of these things, especially these little sub 10 cent stocks, because so many of them are running hard at the moment and running vertically, and if they're running vertically up, you'd think when the time comes they're going to be falling pretty well vertically down. So you need to be really careful with these and make sure your stops are in place and your discipline is up to par. Alright, that's all I've got for you tonight. I'll talk to you tomorrow.